So this is the last video for today. It's been a long day. I've spent 12 hours on this, pretty much solid, working on sorting out minor bugs and issues of the CAN, getting it, speeding it up, getting the filtering working correctly, etc, etc. So here we have what I've got at the moment. So we've got the master at the front here. This is actually running the full OBDIIC&C code with this CAN code added into it. I've just added a new display screen here. This is just for debugging, and this shows me on the top line what the master is transmitting, MTX. There's 8 bytes, 0 to 3 on the top line, 4 to 7 on the second, and at the moment it's sending out IMA-C&C data. Actually, it's just mimicking what it would normally send out on the H line to the IMA-C&C slave in the back. So it's sending out these basically 8 bytes, and we've got BB as the first byte. And then on the bottom 2 lines we've got what the master is receiving from the slave, which is at the back there, and you'll see it's actually receiving exactly the same. So what I've got it doing is I've got it echoing basically. So the master is transmitting that data, the slave at the back is then receiving it, and it's then transmitting it back to the master at the front, just checking the integrity of the data as well. And there's also a checksum. CAN does its own checksum, so if it actually receives the data and allows you to look at it, it's pretty much probably going to be right. But there's also a secondary checksum actually in this data here. This 3F at the end here is a sum of the 4 previous bytes, so it's like a secondary checksum, but it's probably not really necessary now. So that's where we are at the moment. So the master is now running the full code. In fact, I'll just cycle through this so you can see. So obviously there's no blocks connected to it. Obviously I've got 208 here, BMS board. I've got another 208 BMS board, so there are some spurious readings from that one, as you would expect, but it's set up for 72 obviously. I've disabled the alarms for now because obviously it would be beeping all the time. So that's so this is running the full OBDIIC&C current LTO code, but it's now obviously communicating via CAN with the slave over there, and it's also obviously getting in the LTO data at the same time, and it's sort of passing and filtering that. So obviously this is the secondary main screen, and then we have some error checking screen for me, and then we now have this sort of like loop back CAN just display. Just is obviously for debugging really. This can disappear once it's all working properly. So that's where we are at the minute. So it's transmitting with the full CAN code now, LBD code to the slave. Slave's receiving it, chomping on it, sending it back, and the master is also receiving it correctly, and the filtering is working. So that's good progress, but it's been a long day. I think I need a glass of wine.